the internet, the final frontier. These are the live streams of Frost and Fist. Their mission, to explore miniature wargaming, to seek out new hobbyists and models, to boldly go where no potato has gone before.
What's going on, guys? Freak here from the channel Frost and Fist, and I know you're probably sitting here enjoying the Friday night live stream or maybe even the Saturday UK friendly live stream, but I just want to take a few seconds to talk about our merch. That's right, the Frost and Fist got some merch, guys. We got a lot of really cool things that we think you might enjoy, like for example this t-shirt that I'm wearing. You'll see the Wolf Brother wear it on occasion as well. Not only that, we even have coffee mugs. Come on, you don't think a nice cup of Joe tastes heavenly coming from this bad boy? I submit that it does not. We got a bunch of other things out there as well. You can get really nice t-shirts, tank tops. That's right, guys. You can go around flexing your hobby muscles in front of the ladies. Oh yeah, you can't go wrong that way. You can even get socks. You can even get that cool banner like the one we got, like that one. That's right, that one. So we got a couple of things. Go check it out, guys. They're reasonably priced, and it will help us to continue this crazy cause. And thanks again for helping us out and giving us some support. Now, back to the show. We are live.
All right. What is up, beautiful people?
I am Free. Welcome to the show.
Guys, we have on the return of one of our favorite people in the community, and someone who has done some amazing intros for us, and a long-term friend of the channel, the Commodore.
Well, Mythos, it's great to be back, man.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to working with you again, my brother.
Absolutely, man. Good to see you again, man. Thanks so much for joining the show. I'm really happy, excited to be working again together, man.
Yeah, Mythos, I know, man. It's going to be great tonight. We're going to have so much fun. It's going to be an awesome time tonight.
Yeah, you're right, man. We got a couple of topics tonight about some of the best models released last year, some things we want released this year. I do like, and I'm an Ultramarines guy, so I'm looking forward to talking a little bit about the rules released for the Emperor's Spears. Yeah, some good stuff coming up.
I'm sorry, guys. I think my mic was cutting out. Sorry. Anyway, Commodore, I was just saying, man, it was good that you're here, man. Glad that we get to work together again, man, and so excited about the night.
No,
yeah, I mean, 2020, was a great time for models, Mythos. It's just such an awesome time. It's going to be great, man.
Well, that is definitely a topic. I'm excited to get your thoughts on what your favorite releases for 2020 were, and what your favorite release, or what your an anticipated release for 2021 are. But we will get to that later on. Freak, you having some technical problems there, brother?
I think so. I think Commodore can hear me. Commodore, can you hear me?
I hear a betrayer. That is what I hear. I know what you did, Freak.
I closed the door as soon as I saw it. I didn't mean to. What?
No, you betrayed the Brotherhood of Fists. I heard what you did.
Oh.
You started playing with some Space Wolves now?
Oh, that.
Papa Dorn ain't good enough for you now? You're gonna go to the other guys, and you're gonna play with Cyber Wolves and Frost Axes and Grey Hunters and Blood Claws, and man, no, I want to play.
All right, muted. All right, what were we saying, Mythos?
It's hard to argue with the man who's got the keyboard. All right, so we got some amazing people in the chat, as well as here in the guest spot tonight. We've got Bofnet in the chat. UK takeover, baby.
Oh my god.
We've got the Pale Orc in the chat. We got Hellworks by Hellchild. We of course got this guy, the Commodore, in the chat.
I still like him.
We got the Pale Orc. I think I may have already mentioned. We got Fly to the Phoenix, and we got Lupus Canis for Russ. Got some smack talk going on in the chat. Commodore saying Russ is better than Dor. What do you think about that?
Wow. Now, I have to interject here, guys. Let's not get crazy, okay?
Let's just say Dorn can build Russ a doghouse.
Shots fired!
Well, I think at this point he might need a hand with that.
Oh, wow. What?
I'm gonna cry,
Weird.
but at least my Primarch, you know, he may be dead, he may be gone, but he's not hiding in the warp with his tail between his legs.
Unless he is hiding in the warp.
Goodness. Welcome to the show.
Not
It'll be
40K
fun.
unless you tackle smack, baby.
Yeah, baby. Absolutely. Good to see everyone. Very good to see everyone. Good to have
man.
the Commodore in. Definitely
You know, I've
makes-
thought about starting some Sons of Dorn at some point. I really like the Black Templars and their zeal for everything, and then, you know, just reading about the first Templar, you know. Sigismund's such a cool character.
You guys really all work. I mean, they are worked up right now. Got the chat going. It's-
Commodore needs wolves. Hey, you know what? Let me send you a Thunderwolf commie. You know, just one hit. The first Thunderwolf is free, no problem.
That's how it starts. That's how it started.
All right, guys. So
Honey,
we've got some.
why are there thunders? Oh no, they're Mythos. I was just holding them for him. He's gonna get it back. We got any Rust Gray around here or anything, man?
Oh man. Oh, it's gonna be a good show, guys. It's gonna be a good show. Oh man. Actually, you know, because we've displayed your paint work here many times, Hellworks by Hellchild wants to see Commodore's take on wolves. And as a fan of your work, definitely I'd like to see your take on wolves too.
See, that's the problem. I would never paint them as wolves. I would do them something completely different. Like
That's good.
I want to do like I would want to do like a dark iron, or even maybe like an iron of some type, and like a blood red. I think that would look amazing on Space Wolves.
Oh, you know that dark iron wolves kind of color.
I think that was one of their
actually
successor
is a paint
chapters.
job I've seen.
Mhm.
Well,
Like the
I've
Red
seen-
Wolf.
well, I mean, the Iron Wolves are one of the 13 companies. But no, I mean, you're seeing the dark iron color with like a blood red actually is a take I've seen several people do on Chaos Wolves. Not that there are Chaos Wolves, but I've seen several people do a take on Chaos Wolves.
They're already chaos. They're mutated.
My God.
Wolves are not supposed to be corruptible by chaos because they're each bonded to a wolf spirit when they go through, you know,
Hey, whatever you want to call your fleas, man, your wolf spirits, okay, it's fine. You got fleas.
Anyways, paint them like Vikings. X-Gear Commander says happy freaking Friday.
Happy freaking Friday, man.
Hellchild says, you know you want to. You know you want to.
Yeah, I do.
The 30K. And Lupus brings up a good point. The 30K color scheme is already a dark gray. It wouldn't be that far off course.
Hmm?
The Heresy colors? Which
That's
I've
where I
always
got-
liked.
Heresy colors are always good. That's where I got the idea for my Imperial Fist successor chapter thing. So, because it's based off of the Imperial Fist is Heresy colors.
Right. Speaking of which, I don't know what you're drinking, Freak. I assume it's some kind of juice, but it looks like you're drinking like a cough syrup, just swigging a bottle, like. Hashtag not COVID.
The cranberry juice, and I decided to add a little bit of sparkling water in it.
Oh,
It
nice.
tastes pretty good, yeah.
All right, so we usually start off with a hobby update, but I want people to get to know our Commodore, if those who may not be familiar with you in the community. And I saw that you brought a bunch of pictures with you. We had you on before. We talked about where you started and whatnot, and how recent you are of a painter, which is honestly crazy to me because you know how good you are for not having that long in the
I've been in and out of the game since I was about like 16. So seriously, getting like seriously into painting probably the last year and a half too.
That's crazy. That's so crazy. But you know, I've always said that I really feel like this hobby is definitely something that you can see your progression, and that the more you do, the better you get.
Mm-hmm.
So let's take a look at some of his work, Freak, that he posted to us, so we can take a look at that amazing Commodore-ness. He had sent it to the chat with the three of us, but I can forward it to the Art of the Week if you like.
I've got it right here.
Okay, cool.
There you go. I love this. This is kind of one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
It looks like Superman.
Yes.
Yeah, that was from over on the Gamecraft Dragons channel. We had a challenge going in the Discord of the Justice League Marines or superhero Marines, and I think D made Captain Atom out of a Marine. I decided to go. You can't go wrong with Superman, so I had to do that. So that's why I chose him, and I kind of used the inspiration from yeah, Hellchild. I wish I was still 20. I took the inspiration for that from Frank Miller's a Dark Knight series with their Superman. That's one of my favorite comic graphic novels, whatever you want to call them.
That's so cool. I love how you even did the it has the little thing on the front hair, you know, the
swoop.
The swoop. Yeah, that's perfect.
That's really great work, man.
Thank you. He's got a scar.
I know a lot of people don't like Superman, but I'm a Superman fan, and I think you've done an excellent job.
Thank you.
I really wanted to take part of this, but man, for the longest time, I did struggle with what character I wanted to use for a pose for Green Lantern and whatnot. And then halfway through the month, I had some emergencies in the family coming up that came up, so I just never got around to actually working on mine. But this was a really cool challenge, and your entry was definitely
I'm about to say
spot on.
This is incredible. I am not okay. I don't mind it on somebody else's work, and I probably wouldn't do it. You know, doing the dings on the armor or doing scratches and stuff. But your bullet holes or whatever those craters are, that looks really, really cool. I'd like to do that on a vehicle. That looks really neat.
Yeah, it is. It's the Sergeant Jovian like limited edition model, or so it's kind of already in there.
Oh, it's already there. Okay.
Yeah, I know it's a sin to say, but I barely like drilling the barrels of my guns. I feel like it's almost like ruining. I feel like it's ruining the model, kind of thing. Right. But like, it's hard to do battle damage on a model. Like, I just feel like I spent all this money and now I'm gonna like cut into plastic.
Yeah. I feel you, man. All right.
We got some in here. Modeling for Advantage says, hello, ladies.
Hey, Kaiser. How are you, sir?
G the Hyper Sapien says that looks beastly, so good job from him. Modeling for Advantage says Superman is power play, Batman is for true role play. I mean, Batman is my favorite. Got this massive Batman poster that Freak got me for Christmas. That's awesome. Just right over here in the corner, ready to be mounted on my kitchen wall. And the Bat Family, which I've got just a whole wall covered in Bat Family stuff over here. So cool. Bat Family is my favorite thing in all of comic books. Drill the barrels, dagnabbit. Gotta love Batman. Lots of love for Batman.
Yes,
that Demon Prince looks. Go ahead.
Yeah, all these corn guys you're seeing is from when we were doing No Bolter November, so I kind of took a little side project to start a Age of Sigmar army. So
right on.
Nice.
Yeah, that Demon Prince is really nice. Good job.
Yeah, I love the way how it turned out with that red. It gives it a really good like Hellboy vibe.
Yeah, it does.
Yes. I feel like red is such a. I mean, some people struggle with red because it can look, and because it is so vibrant, it can overpower a model.
Right.
But the way you've done it by building up shades and leaving like the darker tones and strategic places like the veins behind the neck,
Yep. So like a
done
really
a great
good
job, like
a really good way to
leaving depth.
Yeah, a good way to do with red though is use orange as your highlight color, because it's still into that red tone, but you're not going to overpower the model with so much red on it. So it helps keep your red, your dark reds dark, and bring out more of the model without just like, oh, it's all red.
Right.
Exactly. When I want to do that in the extreme, like on the texture of like cloaks and stuff like that, I'll actually go up to orange and sometimes even a little bit of outlining yellow, and then I'll red glaze it all back down to tie it together, but you can still see the progression. But still, I mean, yeah, I think we're on the same page there. Building up that kind of beautiful vibrancy, but with such depth is a great way to go with red. Really great chaplain, my man.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I know, because it's funny. Our last models of 2020 were the Primaris chaplain, and like when I saw yours, dude, that was you did an awesome job on yours.
Thank you. Actually, yours was a big inspiration for mine because, I was like, had been kind of chipping away at it. And when I saw you almost done, I'm like, oh, wow, his looks so good. I need to get mine done. So I think we kind of fed off each other's energy there a little bit at the end.
Well, the cool thing about this one is I entered it into like my first painting competition that I've ever entered into with one of our friend, the Crimson Painter, Zach, over on his Facebook group, Faith and Damnation. They were doing their first challenge, and it was the premise of your model had to be, the theme had to be black. You had to have black in there somewhere. So I'm like, what's better than a chaplain? So I decided to do this guy, and I tested out something. I've always been a fan of like a bad and black, but I'm like, you know what? Let me try something else now, at least in the GW line. So I went with the Corvus Black, which is, in my opinion, 10 times better than a bad and black. I will never use a bad and black again unless it's for I'm making like script lines or like I left it on the tires. But that Corvus Black is the armor. It has a slight gray tone to it. So instead of getting like a flat black, Corvus Black, I swear by it now.
That's awesome.
Gives me what do you call it, Ghost Rider vibes.
I love the way you highlighted every line in the armor too, and I think if I'm being honest, I think you managed to highlight some of the details in like the chest piece of the armor and stuff like that. Definitely a lot better than I did, because I had a challenge trying to make every crease pop and have depth,
Which, Mitho, are you part of
of course,
the Crimson Painters Facebook group, Faith and Damnation? Did you see some of those in there?
I did, but to be honest with you, I have definitely had less of a Facebook presence in the last few weeks. I definitely need to hop back on that.
Yeah, there were some great ones in there. So I think the winner was like they did like a sister with like almost like a Black Templar feel to it, and then I think second place was like somebody did a regular like Black Templar, and then I think the third place was something from Infinity, which was really good, and then I think I tied for sixth place, which I am totally cool with.
That's awesome. Because Faith and Damnation is a big group.
Yeah, they're pushing like close to 150 people now.
Lots of really like incredibly talented painters in Faith and Damnation too. So if you came in sixth, that's saying a lot about you, brother.
Thanks.
I think historically red was difficult to paint because the paints that were red were rubbish. The newer GW ones, unlike a lot of other reds, just work better. It's good to know. I have noticed that a couple other brands of red that I've tried do come out looking flat even when you're highlighting. It's very stark and a little tougher to pull off than when I'm blending up GW layers.
Yeah.
I feel like corn red has definitely become my go-to for building depth in red. No matter what shade I end up at, I almost always start with corn red to give it that kind of depth of color. Blood red was my go-to way back as a snot in the day when I was a little snot. It says, "Gee, the hyper sapien." I love using red on my SIS corn army. What's an SIS corn army? I mean, I understand the corn part, but okay, that's not Underworlds. That's not AOS. That's not Night Vault. I don't know what SIS corn. Somebody let me know down in the comments. Okay, I'm going to come back to that because dead air. Commodore, you give paint lessons?
Very, very poorly. Okay, take that and make it brighter. How? I don't know. Make it brighter.
Actually, I have to say,
No, wait. If D was here, I'd be like, Commodore, how do I do this? Well, here's a tutorial from Duncan. Please watch this.
Oh, well, in seriousness, you just reminded me sometimes that when we're in, by the way, the Gamecraft Dragon has a Patreon-based Discord group, so check out Gamecraft Dragon's Discord. But sometimes when we're in the Discord group and somebody's like, hey, how do I do this? I think we've all kind of, AOS corn. Okay, anyways, sorry. Ooh, squirrel. Sometimes when somebody says, hey, how do I do this? I think you have definitely been there a couple times when we've all kind of jumped in and said, hey, this is something you might want to consider. Hey, you might want to try this. So I think you actually do give some good feedback and, teaching moments. Let's see. They do have some awesome painters at Faith and Damnation. Black Templar, as you get the natural look of the edges. Yeah, Black Templar is a really good, it's one of my favorite contrast paints because when you're doing black, you can definitely, especially if you do some fancy stuff, like a dry brush or Zenithal underneath, and then you put the black contrast on top. Definitely does a good job showing some natural highlights through. Oh, you already answered Hellchild there. Modeling for Advantage. When's your next UK time stream? So that way I can watch you without a 4 pounds of coffee in me.
That's a good question. We actually talked about it earlier today. So.
Yeah, actually, so for the moment, and unless anything comes up, unfortunately, because of scheduling conflicts, and just on a personal note, I don't want to get, too much. I give, blah, 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 blah. Wow, what is with me tonight? I either have had too much coffee or not enough.
Speak in English.
Without
I can vouch
giving
for it.
you too much information that won't interest you. I have been spending several of my weekends lately, taking care of my grandmother. And me and a couple other relatives were rotating out, taking turns who has what weekend. And so just because of that, and of course, Freak sometimes works on weekends as IT, we're having schedule conflicts for January, but we already have a date locked in for the 20th of February.
Yep.
We've actually already got an amazing guest who has agreed to come on. So 20th of February, UK show. It's going to be, of course, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. in the US. British time, it's going to be, of course, 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. So February 20th, that is our next UK show.
And you can drink coffee still if you want to, just saying.
Show's not even over, and he's already talking about the next guest who's going to be great and wonderful. Yeah, well, both of you guys are...
They asked about that show. Oh, man. Emperor Duncan. Now you've heard the painting conversations with Migo. I don't know, make it brown. You just do it. I'm sure that's not how it goes. Lunchtime.
Hell Works by Hellchild says, so
It's lunchtime here, so the time zone.
Mythos stole Freak's vodka.
Is that a wolf? Oh, they're all wolves. The 21st of February is the Kaiser's birthday, so we better make a good show.
Oh, wow.
We will have to get to party.
So I guess we'll have to wear our, because typically when somebody tells us, hey, it's my friend's birthday, can y'all do a little something special? We put our bow ties on and we do a little jig and stuff. And
I was going to ask Kaiser, what's your thought on bow ties? Because that's going to be part of the gift.
Pretty much, yeah. And that's it.
I'm ready to go.
Just bow ties. So.
Shameless soul.
Bow ties?
Ian, I'm ready to go win coach. What about bow ties?
Freak said only bow ties. That leaves a lot to the imagination and
Only bow ties.
Just bow ties.
Bow ties are cool.
Yep. And then at some point I'll sit down.
Oh, you're gonna be standing for this.
Well, that's how we normally do it at Chippendales. How else I'm gonna cover? I just.
Oh man.
It's a really small bow tie, so it's fine.
Anyways, God. Oh, freak! I can't get that image out of my head. Oh.
I did it!
Okay, we've broken the mythos tonight.
I did it! I worked so hard. I have been working 4 years to break this. Yes, that's the size. Actually, G, the Hypersapien, that's the size of the bow that I wear.
God. HR is going to be like, Freak, can you come in for a minute? We need to talk about your bow tie. Well, what about it? Well, the location of where you're placing it, for one.
Well, it's okay. It's covering everything. I don't understand what the problem is. You know? Yeah, but it looks more like a zit. Oh, I'm sorry. Well, golly, not everybody has, endowment. So. Anyway.
Oh my God. Anyways. The bow tie around the Lord of Virulence's stomach. We're back to the freak breeding program. I had forgotten about that. I don't think I'll ever get to forget that one. You don't need to stand when you're on the tall stage. Lupus says there are 7 people who just can't seem to find the like button. I think this is why. Oh my God. You went and dug it up. You went and dug it up.
They brought it. They brought it up. They freaking. They brought it up.
Oh my goodness.
They brought it up. They brought it up. I had to. Oh God! All right.
I'm just reading the comments. We are officially off the rails here.
I should have brought my inhaler. Come on, you got this. You got this.
Oh my goodness. Don't worry, brother Ian. We'll get you up on the Chippendale stage with us.
Absolutely.
From experience, stripping is a great calorie burner.
It really is, especially when you're somewhat dodging rows of quarters. Because if they made impact, it'll hurt. We learned how to dodge.
The feathered codpiece on Mythos' image there is definitely the highlight of the picture. All right, we got Brother Ian on the stage. His stage name is Delicious.
Ah, perfect. Perfect. Now, center stage with Mythos and Freak, we have Delicious. Where's my crowd sound? Damn it. I did not have my crowd sign. Go away. Here he goes. Delicious.
Can I be white chocolate then?
Child says off the rails. Oh my god, I feel like I have to Photoshop a Magic Mike poster and put up our community names on there. The delicious white chocolate.
Oh my god.
The freak. Hey, Shameless Soul was a DJ manager of a gentleman's club. 10 years. That's awesome.
There you go. See, you might have heard of us, Asian, when we're being thrown out, but that's okay.
Good night,
You
guys.
still might
My
have
friend.
heard of us. There's typically
On
a
his
lot
way
of
out,
streaming.
Kaiser says another love the Superman Sergeant Jorvin.
There you go. Nice.
Thank you.
Oh man. So we should probably like eventually get to some hobby, right?
Yeah. So what's going on in the hobby? Going on in the hobby.
What you been working on lately, Kami? What you got for a poke chat?
What I got for a poke chop? I've been doing some Age of Sigmar stuff. I've been kind of getting into that. Started joining Escalation League for our local area. So we're sitting at 500 points right now, trying to do 2 games a month. Just, try and get everybody new year, new kind of army play.
Let's pause on that for a second.
Hmm?
How are you finding 9th edition with your Escalation League?
So far, if you try and play like 8th, you instead of playing your opponent, you have to play the mission. I've noticed that in a lot of games, unless you can table an opponent in like a turn or something or 2. The moment you try and treat it like 8th and go that route, you're on the back foot right away. So you have to play towards the mission. And I've seen some games going in our Escalation League where people are getting like wiped out. Like they're getting tabled like turn 3, 4, or like 4, 5. Like their army's tabled and they're still winning the game because they're just so far up on points. Because they played the mission and not tried to just, I want to kill you.
So I don't know if you've experienced any of these difficulties, but something I noticed that Freak really had to kind of adapt and change, and he's still working at it, I think, is going from his Imperial 5th 8th edition mindset, that dramatic Dorn slow march up the field, to execute. Whereas, 9th edition, you got to hustle onto those objectives and try and stay there for as long as possible.
Yeah.
So his play style with fists, he's been adapting and changing, but those older tactics have definitely not been working for him. What are your thoughts about the way you play your fists?
To comment on Dee's comment, I've had one game so far that I lost pretty bad, but I was playing Harlequins, and I've learned at certain point limits, some armies are just really good on small tables, so I think I spent more time setting up for the game than actually playing that one. I got tabled in a turn. That sucked. But
the Sons of Banana Havoc.
I've never been really a heavy, like, hardcore gamer, gotta win it all. I'm just playing for fun kind of a thing.
Sure.
And then I'll play Big D, like, hey, we're gonna have a friendly game, and he's like, I'm here for blood. Okay, well, let me just set up, let me roll some dice, and I will take my thing off the table.
Oh man. So what about like wins or losses aside, how do you feel about the mechanics and the changes and whatnot?
It's good. It's really a lot more fun. I like the changes they've made up to it. It's no longer, even in like 6th, 7th, and 8th, you had just like shooting ranges where like, I'll shoot at you, you shoot at me, kind of a thing, and whoever wins kind of a thing. I love the way they've changed terrain and how they've affected the board. Like now it's no longer like, I'm gonna shoot you from the other side of the table. You have some units that can do that, but it's a lot better now. You have to think tactically now in this game. You can't just like, okay, I'm gonna build a smash captain, I'm gonna take 2 minimum 5-man squads to meet that troop tax, and I'm gonna just smash your units aside. Now you actually have to think like, well, if I do a Vanguard army, I can do this, this, and this. But if I do like a regular brigade, I'll be able to make this build and I'll have more command points. So I mean, it's no longer just like, hey, who has the best single guy to like wreck an army? You can't really do a wrecking ball anymore.
Right. Yeah,
So,
you
I mean-
have to. You're right. You have to actually rely more on tactics and what's the best way to utilize your army to the best of your, the best of its ability. Because honestly, if you've got objectives, not just standard objectives, you have secondary objectives, and then you have, of course, an enemy that's breathing down your neck that you have to do something about. So you're contending with multiple fronts, which is really great, keeps you on your toes, and that's one thing that I was really trying to figure out with my Imperial Fist in 9th edition, and I had to change my tactics a little bit because of that. I can't just sit back and shoot. Like, okay, I need something that's going to take me up the table as fast as I can and hold objectives and still stay alive, that kind of thing. And one thing I found when I played my wolves against Mythos is that I was actually able to do that because the wolves are designed to kind of take a beating, and they're fast on their feet, straight up the map, and I found it was a really, really interesting, different gameplay style. So it was a lot more fun taking objectives and still delivering a pound of whoop ass. It's really, really good. So, and the thing is, it can be done with Imperial Fist. It's just I have to change my style. I got to change what I'm taking. I can't just march a couple of guys. It just doesn't work.
So then you notice that your army plays different, or you have to play your army different at certain point levels?
Yes, you do. You have to play differently. Yeah, you can't just play the same way. Like I said, the whole time I played in 8th edition, I was playing, like Mythos said, just get my army, okay, set up my tanks, set up my, it's going to be my tank with some dreads, and of course I got my beefy guys with my, with Lysander or, some Termes, and, I had everything set, and I march them right up. They either make it or they won't. Most of the time, they won't. Because they're just exposed, they're out in the open, and especially if Mythos is playing the shooting army himself, like his White Scars, or, he's adding additional firepower with his wolves, it can be tricky. And then, of course, when I'm contending against his wolves, if I can knock his wolves down before they get to me, not a problem. With my sucky ass rolls, forget it. I'll be lucky if I can take a squad or some of his cavalry before they get to my face and start ripping ass. So. But
So I need to stop and acknowledge Big D real quick.
Big
He's
D,
feeling
big
neglected.
child, more like it.
The three monkeys on screen didn't notice. Welcome, Big D. Good to see you.
My first
And while we're-
action as admin is to block that man.
Only if you sing, you've got the power while you do it. Debunka, good to see you too, my brother. Welcome to the chat. And I'll get to that when we talk about my hobby update. Before we go on to Freak's hobby update, my brother, what is the next thing you want to complete for 2020? For your next goal on the tabletop to finish. What is your next project? Coming.
Oh, me? Oh,
Yeah.
finally, like, finishing an army, man. I think I keep adding on to all the ones I have. There's no, like, this is my stop point. I want to really get more of the fist stuff I've got done. I mean, I'm in so many different scatterbrain stages right now of, like, stuff I'm trying to do. I really want to kind of start cracking down on my fist again, cracking down into that corn stuff I've started. And then to really admit that I have a problem, I've ordered some Seraphon stuff because lizards riding lizards is cool. So I guess
Those
trying to finish
dinosaurs
something.
are so cool.
Just trying to finish something.
Right, and not to mention those wolves that you're holding for me.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay, well, what's the next thing you're going to add to the fists?
I've just started getting some incursors. Yeah, incursors. Because it's funny, you don't think they make good. Because I was talking with D about this, some kind of game theory. Are they incursors? Infiltrated? The ones with the guns that shoot you, and they're like they come from the Vanguard box. They're not the ones
that's
that
infiltrators.
Infiltrators. There we go. God. I was talking game theory with D about that. They make, surprising enough for their strategy, like, oh, they're Vanguard deployment, they deploy up front kind of a thing. They're right up in your face. They make really good fist units because one of their regular abilities is if you roll a 6 with their gun, it's an automatic wound. But as an Imperial Fist, as an Imperial Fist, you are, when you roll a 6, you get an additional hit. So you're turning that one gun, when you roll a 6, you're going from an auto wound with an additional hit. So they make really good Imperial Fist units. So that's what I decided to add on.
And actually, I think the ruling on that says when you score that additional hit, it also counts as a 6. So I think they're both also auto wounds.
Oh, they are?
Oh, I think that was an 8th edition ruling, though. I don't know if it still holds water, but
because at that point that would be pretty a little ridiculous, I think.
So, one thing about incursors, because I'm still going to add them to my wolves. I was like, these are suddenly great wolves units now. When I hated them when they first came out, but after they got their next codex and they got their super doctrine and all that, where wolves get the exploding 6s. At the time, infiltrators or incursors naturally had exploding 6s with their paired combat knives.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that in this last codex they nerfed that out, and so I was like, what the hell? Like,
yeah, because they did that.
That was kind of cool though, to get exploding 6s and then 2 for each.
Because the exploding
they did what?
The original exploding 6 they did for not the close combat versions, the other ones was a mortal wound instead of a wound cell. It was a really good way to like take out Death Guard stuff or like anything with like a lot of high invuln saves and all that.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the paired combat knives though, for the just flooding them with extra hits. I mean, still could work with the wolves, just not as good. I didn't realize until literally I was looking through the codex like last week, and I realized, they nerfed that. Which one's the bearded monkey at the moment? Is that Kami? He's got the most glorious beard on the screen right now.
I don't think you're talking about me.
Wolves just finished something. Wolves. Yes, it's Freak's glorious beard. Glorious. All right. The infiltrators and Phobos Captain LT are an awesome combo. Yes. So infiltrators, of course, if you get the comm specialists,
Mm-hmm.
they can get those rerolls from the Captain and Phobos Lieutenant anywhere on the battlefield. That's a pretty cool combination. So yeah, those definitely could make for some pretty cool units for your fists for sure. Freak, hobby-wise, what you got for a poke chop? Marley, what you got for a poke chop?
Well, I'm in the middle of printing a couple of pieces for a good brother. Oh, by the way, so I started putting the supports on all that stuff. Yeah, and my computer decided it was going to do an update, so I was in the middle of doing it. I left it.
You lost all your progress?
I lost all my damn progress. We're hating life right now.
I'm sorry, bro.
That's okay. I'm just going to do them one at a time. Aside from that, I haven't done a whole lot this weekend. I think I'm going to be working on an amazing computer build. got commissioned to put together a really, really badass computer. Excited about it, so pretty stoked about that. So hopefully I can hopefully this will actually help someone with potato issues. So,
Yeah.
anyway, so pretty stoked.
And I think it's a great time to thank our amazing community, because a lot of what this new computer is coming from is, of course, donations from our beautiful patrons. So thank you guys so much.
It does.
And Freaks, of course, his amazing, freakalicious hard work.
It does help a lot, man. I appreciate it. You know, you guys are doing, because they, I mean, trust me, I think we're so done with potato. I mean,
With the potato.
It's just we're just over it.
So you know, ethos. That means you can't
guys
blame it
have-
on the computer anymore. You have to own up to your own technological ineptitude.
I never don't own up to
He
my
really
technological
doesn't.
ineptitude. I say all the time that
Yeah.
my major problem is not just having tech problems, but that when something happens, I don't know how to fix it. I'm just like, I guess I'll just drown now.
So
Oh man,
anyway, so that's gonna happen.
that I'm super stoked for.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited, and I have a couple of projects on queue to start working on, and I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's just I got to put them together. So the name just went blank on me. The flyer, Ethos Help, the one for Space
Storm,
Wolves.
the Stormfang,
Yes,
Storm Wolf.
gunship. Yeah, Stormfang gunship. Yeah. So I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I'm not gonna do the. So is a Stormfang gunship itself is the transport, right? While the Storm
Wolf is the transport.
Stormwolf is a transport.
Stormfang is the.
It's the regular gunner. Okay.
Yep.
Got it. Okay. Okay. So that's what I'm gonna do. I don't think I want to. I don't want to set up a. I don't want another transport. I just want a very, heavy, good shooty flyer, which I think will work really well for that. So that can actually.
Which makes
move really
sense, because
fast.
you're not putting a lot of most of your infantry is going to be Primaris, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So you don't really need a firstborn transport.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, somebody gifted me out of nowhere some assault intercessors. So gonna be really excited to put those together too. Those work great for the wolves. Those are going to my wolves.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Gamecraft Dragon says, "My name is Freak, and I am a PC. My name is Mythos, and I am a potato. Ich bin ein Kartoffel."
Oh, great question. The Pale Orc asks, how has the Dread been printing, Freak? Well, I've got the body soaking right now, but it printed beautifully. I mean, beautifully. I just got to print the rest of the stuff because it's all the small, the tracks and all that crap. That's what I was actually working on. I was doing supports on a track. Oh my God, there was so many supports, and ooh, there's so many rivets. So many rivets. So many bolts and nuts. I mean, all over it. Anyway, so really cool. And that's what I was working on. It takes so much to make sure you get those because they show up out of nowhere and you got to support them. So, of course, like I said, my computer just decided, I'm going to do an update. Yeah. Then everything got wiped. I'm like, in my life.
Being that I picked the spike tracks, that probably added some extra details on there to print more to support.
Yeah, again, and so what I did was I can turn it, I can angle it in a way where, as it's building, it can kind of build off itself and it'll support itself. But the problem is that it has so many of these nuts. It's like these studs with the nuts on them. And as the layers start coming up, each layer, you'll see part of the nut just pop out of nowhere. Nothing supporting it, so you got to support each individual one. So which is fine. It's just very tedious, it takes some time. But I think the print is going to be fantastic, man.
I hate when a nut pops out.
It's a lot of no. Don't apologize for putting details. That's what makes it beautiful, man. I think that's going to be really, really cool. Let me see if I can get this body out. Hang on. So anyway, so that's kind of what I'm working on. I'm printing those out. Mythos got a really cool idea of doing this. So he's going to go with, what are the KMBs, Mythos? What type of weapons are those?
The custom Mega Blasters.
There you go. I mean, he's going to load them up on each one. I'm not playing him when he brings that out, so he can go to hell when it goes.
So I've noticed, of course, my orcs are pretty good at melee, but the big thing that they're missing is any covering fire when I'm trying to get them across the table. And usually his big stuff plunks off a lot of my good, efficient combat units before they get there. So I need to eliminate some of his options, like his tanks or his dreadnoughts, before, so that way I can get my boys and stuff across the board. So I've got the Def Dread is going to be the centerpiece of that, which I'm going to do a whole unit of Def Dreads, and the Def Tread with the 4 custom Mega Blasters is going to be one of them. He's going to have 2 of his brothers. With this one's got 2 custom Mega Blasters, the other one's got 2 missile launchers. I'll buy them as a squad, and then I'll take the custom job to make them all hit on 4s. And that's just going to be a lot of DACA. And then, of course, the one with the 4 custom Mega Blasters, I'm going to give him the stratagem to have exploding hits on 5s and 6s, so that way I can just crank out as many custom Mega Blaster shots as possible.
That's going to be a dangerous unit.
So hopefully I can do things like the last game I played against him with my Dreadnought, his Predator with 4 lash cannons took out my Def Dread real early. So hopefully, if I actually have some good shooting and covering fire, I can do things like pop a Predator before it, just takes apart my army.
Is that why you're so pissy?
And his I'm not. I'm not pissy. I'm just identifying an improvement area for my army.
Oh, sounds like you want to kick my ass or.
That looks good, dude. That looks real good.
Yeah, it turned out really good. Just got to clean it up and then work on the other stuff. So.
Custom Megas teleporting in with sparkly bits. Yep. I'm looking to do 3 with 4 Scorches teleporting in. 12 D6 auto hits.
Holy crap. That's just not nice. This ain't right.
That is just going to be basically pointing at things and saying that I want that to go away.
Yeah. Yeah, you need to go too.
Cool paint job. Remove it from the table, please.
Oh, man. So that's what I'm looking for. Speaking of which, I got recently, first of all, this last Saturday, I finished up basing the amazing war boss that Freak painted up for me. So I think it just is framed so well, actually having a nice base on him now. And Freak did an amazing job with that war boss. I can't wait to play him. And this past week, I have completed my Def Dreads number 2 and 3. So at the end of last year, I showed you guys I had a Def Dread with the 2 missile launchers. So Freak 3D printed this one from, I think, Thingiverse for me sometime last year. And I had the 4 buzzsaws put on him.
Yeah.
This one will not get the sparkly bits because he's just going to be an all melee beast to go chop up some infantry. That's going to be cool.
It's good.
Finished that one up Saturday, and then this one will be finished tomorrow. Just need some dry brushing and flocking on the base, and that one will be complete. And I hummed and hawed about this one for a while, and I think he actually came out okay. This was a used one, and it was super glued already together, and the arms were so close to the custom Mega Blasters that I couldn't really see them or paint them very well, so I actually ended up ripping off the arms. The checkerboard, I think, adds that nice coffee touch, but then I was like, I need some pop of color, so I made the blades on the shoulder pads red and I did like 4 different colors of blending on the reds there to really make the shoulder pads pop out. I'm really pleased with the glowy green eye, which I'm sure won't show up that well on a webcam. But one of the things that's really cool is I did. Oh, thanks. I did a couple layers of green and ended up with like a moot green and yellow and white iris for a highlight. And then I went back and covered it all with a moot green glaze. But then I went back with, I finally found a use for this freaking Aethermatic blue and used that, thinned it down to a wash consistency and went around the edges of the eyeball and did that to kind of shade the recesses around the back of the eye. So that came out pretty well. Another thing, like I said, this was a used one, and one of his power pack backpacks was missing. So this one came on, and this spot here was just a blank spot, and it looked very much like just a model with a piece missing. But I had chopped off my my God, what are they called? My little grot cannon. I had chopped off this power plant because it just is sticking out, and just I didn't like the aesthetic with my on the model. I had chopped it off some time back, and I found it in my bits box, and it took a little chopping and fitting, but I think it almost looks like an intentional, like it goes there as part of the energy power plant backpack thing.
You made it work.
So I'm pretty proud of some of those minor conversions. So, yeah, all 3 of my current Def Dreads ready to go, and when I get the Def Tread from you, I'll be ready to crank them all out.
It's gonna be funny watching you play by yourself.
Tesseract Glow would be another. Tesseract Glow would be another choice for the glaze. Yeah, I actually want to get some Tesseract Glow. I don't know if I just got a bunch of new Necron players at my local GW, or if people are just using them for plasma glows. But like the last 2 times I've been into GW to get some of that Tesseract Glow, they've just not had it in stock when I went. They were sold out. So
well, Necrons are a big thing right now. Yeah, Necrons are a big thing right now online.
Yeah. Indeed. Of the 4 Scorches and the 12d6 auto hits, he wants to teleport them and challenge them to charge me. Yeah, I can imagine, because those are going to be great Overwatch weapons with the auto hits.
No.
Play by himself. Come on, freak. I'm looking to run 9 of them. Buck up, cowboy. Oh, can you imagine facing 9 Def Dreads in a game?
No, because it won't happen.
Apparently it used to be a thing. People used to run a dread mob that was basically all dreadnoughts for orcs.
Can you imagine that? Good God. That's just like that guy who brings, 4 or 5 Imperial Knights to the game. Hey, want to play me? Yeah, no.
Remember that commission you had for like 21 different dreadnoughts?
That was a nightmare.
Whew.
I got burnt out so fast.
Some people like to play all dreadnought armies.
I got nothing,
All right, so
no shade. It's just, man, that's just a lot of dreadnought.
Yeah, and it was a lot of repetition on your part for sure.
Yeah.
As the person commissioned to do it. So, and I'm going to attempt to show you guys this. These models are blue tacked together, so that way I can sub-assemble and paint them. But I just wanted to kind of put them together for the look of them. So last night while we were playing I've already fallen apart. Last night while we were playing Phasmophobia together.
Love that game.
During the load screens, I finished building up my Corsaro Khan. So now I've got my Primaris Master of the Hunt ready to be primed and painted. So there he is there. I love that model. Such a cool sculpt. Definitely going to be doing some power sword glow effects there on that massive tall war he's got there.
Mm-hmm.
He's just blue tacked together, so I'm trying to move him without it all crashing down. And then, and I'm sure some people will have, the fits about this WYSIWYG wise, but I got Kinja from the 30k Heresy range, a little Primacy action, and I love the 30k model. He's dual wielding short swords that are power swords here, and he is going to be my Blade Guard captain. Yeah, he's technically in Tartaros armor, but the Tartaros armors are kind of big and beefy enough to kind of be Primaris sized. So I'm just going to run him as my Blade Guard captain.
Very nice.
And I love the samurai shoulders on him. I put a Shapeways custom head on there. I was telling Freak, I'm a vain person, and I like to put myself somewhere in my army. I have a Wolf Lord Mythos over there somewhere I made, and I noticed I put a lot of love and time into my Khan on jet bike. But I fashioned him after one of my favorite heresy characters, Shiban. So that one was never really, even though I put a lot of love and conversion on that, that was never really a me. I put a head, and I removed like kind of the oversized. I felt like the headdress on Kinjao was oversized, so I removed a lot of the headdress and took off the helmet and put in a head that I thought would be more fitting of me. And this dual wielding guy here will be my representation of my White Scars army, my Blade Guard captain.
Okay, so here's.
So I got actually.
See if I can get a good shot
Go
of
ahead.
this thing. No, I'm just showing the detail, which I love. The Pale Orc did a great job with this because there's like gears on the inside. Really, really neat. It's definitely, your typical orc. Hey, let's put this together. And it already has kind of like the part of the exhaust. So got to clean it up, but I think it's turned out really good.
Yep. Saturday while I was over for Freak to give my little girl piano lessons, he was kind of pulled me aside and was like, "Okay, let's go through the Pale Orc's dread here. Okay, which is your favorite torso? Which one's your favorite head? Which one's your favorite arms?"
A lot of good options.
That was cool to see. Can't wait for that to.
Yeah, a lot of good options. So.
Yeah, lots of good options. You're definitely getting more than just a stock character when you buy the Pale Orcs kit. You're getting definitely variety and some options.
And Pale Orc designed all of those,
I have to say,
yes,
I talk a lot of.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, Pale Orc needs to make like a store so all the 3D printers out there can buy that stuff and buy the file from him. He'd make a killing.
He is like I actually bought that set. He has his set for sale, and I will definitely put up the link for that here in a bit, in case any orc players want to get in on that. I talk a lot of crap on this show about building, but I actually really enjoyed building both of those Primaris characters, and I just even further kit bashing on my Primaris chaplain on bike. For my Space Wolves
Not
here.
a bike.
I actually even took. Is that a bike or a wolf? I actually even took the time. I had taken the start of the Outrider saddle, but it was too thin for the back of this wolf here. So I actually took some green stuff this week and actually kind of. And I'm not a sculptor by any means, so when I say this, I mean it in the most simplistic of terms. But I actually sculpted a little saddle for this guy to ride the wolf because this is not a typical Thunderwolf. This is one of the Wolfkin of Russ. And I got the pose kind of where I wanted it and really started putting this guy together and got some wolfy accoutrement on here. And I think I would be ready to call him done now that I've sculpted out the saddle, except one thing. I feel like I've upsized everything to be Primaris on this guy, that the Crozius now looks tiny in his hand. So I think I'm going to replace that. And I looked through my bits, and I actually have the bits for a Star Mace from the Age of Sigmar, what are the Sigmarines called? Stormcast Eternals?
Right,
yeah.
So I think I'm going to replace that Crozius with a big-ass Star Mace. So that's going to be pretty cool. And kind of, and I don't know if you had this kind of thought process when you were doing your chaplain on bike, Kami, but I want to make sure that I separate the black armor of the chaplain from the black of the wolf, because they're supposed to be different textures and whatnot. So I think I'm going to take your idea of using a different tone, like the Korax black. On the wolf,
the Corvus black has a gray undertone to it, so that is going to be your bet. I mean, if you want to go because
what I want to do is,
I'd say go Abaddon, and then if you want to do black fur, You could go Corvus Black, or I would almost go. What is it? I would almost go Dark Reaper, and then maybe even give that like a little bit of an like a black wash to tone that down some more, and then you can kind of build it back up with the Dark Reaper and start almost going into darker to lighter gray highlighting on that fur, I'd say.
And then I'm going to take the airbrush and I'm going to do some really of the lighter gray, like bottom of the jaw, bottom of the chest, bottom of the tummy area, bottom of the tail, you know, to get some of that kind of fur patterning. Mm-hmm. So yeah, my kit bash here is almost done for this guy. So I talk a lot of crap about building, but I've really been in a building mood this week. And that's, I think, is going to be one of the things I have coming up is I'm going to take these Reapers I got this week. I'm going to do 5 as the Hounds of Mordecai. And I bought some bits for Scouts a while back.
I didn't know you bought a box.
But then I decided I
didn't realize you got that.
Reapers, yeah.
Oh.
And so I bought some ninja bits for some Scouts, but then I decided I don't like Scouts. I don't think I will. I think I'm going to save the skull helmets for something else. I'm really excited how they look with my white scars.
There is a cool effect. It's pretty simple you could do with the skull helmets that I like. Who knows how well this is going to show up. Let me see. Oh no, that's no light at all. Try this again.
Okay, that's definitely better.
Back it up a little bit and put your hand in front. Back it up just a little bit. There you go. A little better.
So like I did the yellow helmet, but then what I did is I did to make it look like there's like white like skull paint on it.
Yeah.
So like the skull part up and then streaks up to make it look like they took like white paint, just like threw it on their faces, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
That reminds me of one of the Mech Warrior games where they do that on the front of the mech. Like splotch on skull-shaped paint. That's cool. But I actually bought like hooded ninja heads for the Reaver or for the white scars, so I think those are going to go on my Reaver since they're supposed to be like, you know, I'm going to have the Reaver version as ninja, and then I'm going to replace some of their combat knives with katana.
Oh yeah.
So that'll be cool.
That's going to be a lot of ninjas.
Checking the chat. Oh no, looks like I'm missing bad news. Colt 3D is where Pale Orc posts his stuff. Meathos' kit bashing. I'm so proud. I have a couple good kit bashes on me here. They've all been for like my characters that I really want to stand out, like my Wolf Lord on Thunderwolf, my Khan on Bike, and now it's going to be this Chaplain on Wolf. So, send prayers and good vibes to my way to Arizona. The wife is not in good shape. Tested positive for the virus. Fighting the fever.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry to hear that, brother.
Just tell her to hang in there. Prayers definitely outweigh, man. That's rough.
Yeah, definitely lots of love, respect, and positive vibes heading your way, brother.
Absolutely, my man.
Is there a Primaris Khan on Bike? There is not, unfortunately. The only HQ we have is the Chaplain on Bike.
Such a shame.
Look, yeah. That was one of the things that I think kind of made a lot of Scars players kind of upset when they released Corsaro, is that Corsaro was a character on Moondraken, you know, a legendary bike for so long. So they're like, we released a Primaris of this guy. What happened to his bike? He lost it somewhere.
He pawned it so he could cross the rooftop.
He lost it. Well, Primaris guys can't fit on bikes, so... yeah, so everybody was like, why did you take our HQ off a bike? There are no wolves on Fenris. Now there are.
Oh, that's a good idea, Hellchild.
I think one of my girls is either laughing or suffering. I think that's a giggle. If it's not a giggle, I'm probably in a lot of trouble, but I'll assume it's a giggle for now. I haven't used Corvus, but I have it ready to use right here. Cool. That con makes a great rune priest. I think the one with the bird, he's like a White Scars character that has like a Stormbolter in one hand, a sword strapped to his waist, and he's got a bird on his arm. I think that one would make a really, really cool conversion for Niall. Freak, print him a Wolf Crozius. I'd run Outriders as Thunderwolves. Cool. The con traded away for a knight with his base, a Shadow Sun. I mean, based on certain anime style artworks I've seen of Shadow Sun, I could see trading a bike away. You know, Bunko, you might be onto something.
I like how that's what causes you to like Tau or whatever. Like, I hate Tau. They shoot and all that. What do you mean they got big titty anime?
I mean, you're not wrong. Warcry, what say you? Warcry looks like a really fun game. I haven't convinced Freak to come over. I'm still just now starting to convince him to join me and Oni in some AOS action. So that might be something we work our way to eventually, but the models from Warcry look amazing, and the game looks fun when I see other people playing it. Hellchild says, and you give poor painting lessons my ass. Outriders as Thunderwolves, they have more attacks than the Thunderwolves now, don't they? That is true. However, and I got to see this with my White Scars, the Outriders really struggle with anything toughness 5 or higher. The Chainswords just don't deal. They're great for anything. They're beautiful even for anything toughness 4 or lower, but once you get to that toughness 5, they really struggle. But I think, you know, having my chaplain on bike, giving him some buffs, I think will help with that. But yeah, I think the thing about Thunderwolves is that you can put some heavy hitters on them. I run mine typically with fists and hammers, and they just deal out anti-vehicle damage like beasts.
It's a quality versus quantity that you gotta worry with those guys.
Exactly. 30k Deathsworn should be used as Hounds of Mordecai. Actually, that is when I say I'm building up 5 of these as Hounds of Mordecai. That's because I actually have in some parts for, or I actually have an order of 30k Deathsworn here that came in recently, and I'm going to be cannibalizing parts from that with these Reavers to make Deathsworn Reavers, and they're going to be Primarch. It's going to be awesome.
Be interesting. Yep, I'd like to see that.
Okay, so that's everything I've got as far as upcoming projects I'm going to talk about now. I also, and I'm not going to get into this yet because I'm going to do a little series on this, but I got a big box here. Someone locally asked me to help them get a UK-based game off the ground in this area. Apparently no one in this area plays this smaller game, and they want some help getting it off the ground. They want a couple of armies set up so that way they can run some games with some people. So it's a little game called Spectre, and I'm going to be helping somebody get those models painted up so that way they can start showcasing some of those games.
Very nice.
That'd be cool. Spectre is a little like current day Spec Ops kind of game. You know, so you've got you know, like basically operatives, which are kind of like you know, civilians with tactical gear on. You've got you know, some standard soldiers in tactical gear. You've got insurgents. You know, it's pretty cool. So I'm going to be painting up some modern military stuff. It'll be pretty neat.
Yeah, I can't wait
a little
to see
side
that,
trip
dude.
from 40K. So I got a pretty full plate coming up, guys. But let's see. This is everything we're talking about. What we're painting. You guys want to look at other people's art so we can burn our brushes?
Ooh. Yeah.
Grab the gasoline.
Yep. Right. Okay.
I can't believe
Oh,
I've been enjoying building lately. That is totally not me. Why are we back to that?
Sorry, that's stuck there. All right, another week.
He who does not build is kit bashing. It's already a better year. Yo, Freak, you've done a few commissions. How do you gauge pricing it? I've worked out on an agreed price on a Harley Quinn commission I'm doing, but I'm curious how others work it out.
Um, I kind of took I took a little bit off of what Mythos had kind of shared with me. So basically, it's a percentage of the actual total cost of the actual model. So, sometimes I'll charge half. Sometimes I'll charge like for example, if a box, say the box set costs, I don't know, $35, I may charge, $15 to $20 depending on what all they're wanting. Also depends on the complexity. So if I'm doing, let's say, a dreadnought, and they want all kinds of stuff, then I will charge, dreadnoughts are what, $35 to $40, roughly $40. So anywhere from ten to $25 again, depending on the complexity of how much how much detail you're going to put in it, and if you're going to add little extra stuff. Like I added on the commission that I added like flames on the actual shoulder pads of the dreadnoughts, and I did the lava bases too. So it just again depends on what all you're going to do. That's a good question though. And again, it also is going to 2,000 points worth of Harlequins. That's not a bad deal. 600, so 600 pounds or $600. Regardless, I think that's pretty good. 2,000 points. That's actually
in Australia. They use dollars.
Okay, yeah, that's right. Okay, so
Yeah.
that being said, I mean, I think
I think a big thing Pale Orc you need to factor in though is your time.
Right.
How much is your time worth?
Right.
So if this is going to take you, if you think it's going to take you 2 weeks to complete, is that 600 worth your time, or is it going to take you a weekend, or is it going to take you 40 hours? Is it going to take you a month? I mean, that's it. It depends. That's another factor you should factor into for commissioning.
Yeah, see, my issue with me is like I'm a slow painter because I like to, I'd like to make sure that it's going to get done. It's going to get done right. And so when I do a piece, I'll tell them, look, this is going to take a while. This might take some time. And they're usually pretty good with that. So it just depends on, like you said, Commodore, depends on how much time you want to spend on it, and how much you think you're really going to be. You compare that. So $600 within a week, depends on how many hours you're putting in. That's a job, So speed painting has been getting better and better. I also promise battle ready and make no promise to be competition paint jobs. That's fair. That's a fair statement. So when you have that, I mean, they're expecting. That's always good to do because I always tell them what the expectations are. I think it's fair.
Like paint up one and like, hey, this is what they're going to look like. Is this what you want?
Yeah, that's actually a very good point, Commodore. I always do that. I'll paint one as the first. You drill them. Okay, what do you want? What is it that you would like to see? You get ideas. What colors do you want to imagine on this thing? And then you try to put one together as a sample, right? That's going to be your template, and then you do the rest of your army like that. But yeah, no, good questions, man.
Very similarly, when the person reached out to me to help paint their Spectre ops figures, first thing I was like, well, the first off, before we start talking any prices or anything, let me link you to our Instagram and give you a sample of our work. So that way, if you're expecting
right,
Golden Demon winners. This is what you're getting here.
Right. Right. This is. Yeah.
I think you've got it there. Pale orc transparency is definitely a key factor.
Absolutely. Yeah. Totally agree on that.
So this is the Necron for Running Bear's brother, right?
This looks like it. Yeah, I think it is. Wasn't Running Bear doing this for him?
Yep, he's painting some models up for his brother, which always good, helping the brother get into the game. Guy had seen my previous work and was super happy with how I did those. That's how Freak and I both got into commission painting. It's just somebody at the local shop saying, "Hey, this is we really like what you did here. You want to do it for us?" Look at that.
Stop, Marley.
Kaiju's collection is just so beast.
It is, dude. That's so neat. I imagine a museum in Japan. You know, it's like kid night. Is this thing in order?
I love it. It's good stuff.
Hold on, I'll make sure this thing's in order. Yeah, no, it's in order.
I will say, I think that's some of the stuff that we didn't that we got at the end. There we go. So, yep, this is from Hellworks by Hellchild here in the chat, who is a kit bashing master.
Oh, he's a monster. Damn.
I love, that is a scratch built tree right there that he's got his jump pack guy hanging out on.
Man. So crazy.
Made that with floral wire and floral tape. That's it.
Nice.
That is so cool. And then, of course, I love the way he's got his Jarl here kind of charging, converted from Ragnar. It looks like he's charging sword forward and is about to shield bash the hell out of somebody's face. This here is one of my favorites. Owner of course, Pagan Miniatures, the best Viking and werewolf miniatures on the market, painted this up here. Adam Dodge, like I said, owner of Pagan Miniatures.
Nice.
Check this out. Super cool work.
Ooh, that's some good
love
green.
The skin tones there. Yeah, the green skin is amazing, and I love the worn textured leather.
Yeah.
Speaking of texture, that hair though.
Mm-hmm. Oh, look at the chain. I didn't realize there was a chain behind it. That's so cool.
Yep. That is such natural looking hair too. I mean, it really looks good. The bandages have really nice weathering too. From the side view, one of my favorite things, if you go back to that side view, is the front of the stomach is kind of pale in the same way that a frog's stomach is pale. Like that kind of like white kind of reminds me of like the old Battletoads games.
Oh yeah. Damn it. Mom was gonna come out here.
Send that to Art of the Week. Thank you for sharing, sir. Really, really great work by Adam Dodge here.
Wow. That is such a great job on these tanks, man. I love the history stuff.
And dude, look, that camo is so good. Yeah. Those are only 15 millimeter.
Wow.
Flames of War. Can you? I can't even imagine trying to do like I'm intimidated by camo pattern. Period. I can't even imagine trying to do camo pattern on 15 millimeter.
No. Mine will look like a blob.
Right. That's camouflage. It just looks like big blobs of brown and green. Yeah. That's camouflage.
Pretty much.
Commodore, pay no attention to the likes suddenly coming up in our chat.
It's part of my my Friday Friday mantra is like once I start getting those likes, I'm gonna like streams getting ready to start, baby.
Oh, they are streaming tonight. Dude, the miniatures vault there did some amazing work. Like, there are some people who paint Space Wolves and really bring out that Viking part of the aesthetic.
Yeah, they do.
Don't get me wrong, I intentionally lean heavy into the space pup part of the Space Wolf aesthetic, but man, when I see people who do the Viking part of the aesthetic really well, blown away.
Tattoos and everything. So nice. Oh.
My favorite, and I wish I had a close-up of that one, is the tattoo on the very back guy.
Yeah. This guy here?
So good. Okay, so as a Space Wolf player, this is the part of the show where I start burning my brushes.
Oh. Oh.
Monrastar?
Yeah, Monostar.
Love the frosty effect on that cloak. And of course, you know I love the heat effect on the barrel of that gun there.
Jesus, that barrel's just about melted.
That's so cool.
Looks really good.
Damn you, Den of Imagination. I always hate people who are really good at hand painting lightning effects. I mean, I love it, but I hate it. I'm so jelly. It's like, but how though? But how though? So those are last fuse. I haven't seen last fusels up close. Are those last fusels, Kami?
Yes.
Those are so cool. I love just that pose, the head swap they did on that. Just the whole thing looks so cool.
Is that Ragnar's head, or is that?
Like it looks like Ragnar's head, and I suspect, but I don't really know, because some of these people who do these kit bashes and swaps, and some of them do amazing green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't actually know. This turtle's so crazy, and this is still a work in progress, freak.
You're kidding me.
Oh my God.
Ricky Smith. You know, sometimes
Why do we do this to ourselves?
Sometimes I don't know, because like I'll see lots of painters on some of these groups and stuff like that who say it'll be like blow you away, knock your socks off. This guy's won some kind of award, and they're like, this is still a work in progress. Or my other favorite one is you're like, this must have clearly won a crystal brush. They're like, yeah, this is my speed paint of something. I'm like, what?
Yeah, no. This is
like
this
the
is
reds
sick.
on this are just so. The whites are good, but the reds are so amazing here.
Very
the
good,
hot spots,
well
the shading.
contrasted, vibrant as hell. Oh man.
Hellwork says Marley is commenting on the art too.
Yeah, they hear.
Yeah, no, I feel that seeing this turtle makes me whimper too. Like,
oh
I wish I could do that.
You know, the barnacle, man.
The texture and detail on the scales there, very good. The shell is just obviously the most eye-catching and amazing.
Yeah.
Remember earlier when we were talking about like red is one of those things that when you add depth to the red, it looks really good, and if you don't, it just looks flat.
Yep.
This person definitely gets that.
Yeah, it is just outstanding.
Den of Imaginations, obviously one of the most famous commission painting companies out on the internet. I think almost every art of the week, somebody will send me something from Den of Imagination because they do such great work. I really like how they've incorporated that dark midnight blue into the basing, and it looks good.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't really feel like artificial or out of place.
I find it's interesting that they use the shields to break up the gray. It makes the entire thing super vibrant. Looks really good.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And that's one of those things, like picking your color choices. Like obviously, a gray and red army could be super drab, right? But they have definitely found points that they can make color pop and make the gray look interesting.
Mm. Oh my.
I worry about that all the time with my Goths because I usually rely on the green of the skin to be vibrant. But when I started doing the vehicles and stuff, I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do with all this metal? That is just a legion of some good looking Marines there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when you run paint jobs that are like Den of Imagination quality, I wonder how much you reckon we were just talking about commission prices earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I wonder how much this army set someone back.
I'm sure it cost them a bit. Look at how beautiful this is.
I feel like if you have like a Den of Imaginations painted army on the tabletop, that's kind of a flex at your local store or tournament or wherever you're going. Like, imagine you show up to like somewhere where other YouTubers are going to be, and you're like, see this army here? This is an Elstonation. Yeah. Like you're just flexing all on people. See this here? Den of Imagination painted this.
They immediately start packing up their stuff and going home. Wait, I thought we're playing. Come back. Oh man, too rich for my blood.
Unlike though, you definitely don't flex like this at places like our Woodland store we used to play at.
Oh God, no.
Where people legit steal your armies while you go to the restroom.
Yep. Oh, nice army. Thanks. Can you watch them while I go use the bathroom? Sure. Gone. Dang it.
I watched a video of someone who had 3K worth of Dark Eldar for over 3,000. Absolute mental. Wow, that's a heavy commission.
Yeah.
So I don't. What's his name? Matt what? Cockerill?
Oh, Matt Cockerell. Yeah. Very good.
I saw this and I was like, this person wins salamanders. Like, I'm gonna have to tell Kane, sorry, I can't paint salamanders anymore.
Although you did a good job with the vibrancy on that, man. On yours, they look very similar.
Thank you.
I like how like it's got like a neon glow to it almost.
Yeah.
It just like it pops.
Yes.
Very nice.
Absolutely. The pop is so strong.
Is that it? We have more than that.
I guess they took watching it too seriously. Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Gosh, that library looks so good. We're about halfway through.
Yeah, we're good.
These are the Harlequins that our brother, the Pale Orc, has been doing. This was his test piece for the commission.
Yeah, that's really nice. Look at the skin. That is so cool.
I love that Sally too. That salamander, babe. That salamander is amazing. Just want to make sure I clarify. Yeah, man, your scheme for the Harlequins look good.
Mm-hmm.
I bet all the checkerboard you do for having such a massive orc army has helped train you for this day.
Right? Oh my.
It's a prismatic paint, so it looks so much better in person. Oh yeah, I've got a couple of those prismatic paints too. And no matter what I do, I can never make the picture justify how good prismatic paints look in person.
Mm-hmm.
This one was sent to me by one of my sexiest people in my messenger, the Commodore. Actually, it was specifically sent by the sexy beard.
The Commodore didn't even realize it was sent. His
He did-
beard did it.
He just leans over the keyboard.
Actually, he has his phone in the beard, and the beard takes care of it.
It's just like the way people often just, while they're talking to you, shuffle their phone into like a jacket pocket or
Yep.
something. He just shuffles his right into the beard.
Just tucks it right in. The beard starts moving and stuff. Like, what the hell's going on in there? Beard's like, sorry, sending this.
So I normally see this Void Dragon done with the Tesseract glowing neon yellows and greens. The red, and I know it's like we talked about something earlier, and this was not planned, everyone. It's like we talked about the depth of red and how important it is earlier in today's show.
There's
And
some
a lot
red.
of our submissions are just like, by the way, when red is done well, look how much this pops.
Yeah.
And if you look closely on that metal, there's red on that metal, kind of like as a reflecting.
Yeah.
Because when my beard saw this, it's like, oh man, we got it. And it's like, my opinion is a really kind of like dark synthwave feel to it. At least that I see it, and it just looks amazing. And then just the fact that they're not only are they painting that red, but they're also getting it to look like it's reflecting off the body like that is just outstanding.
Yeah, honestly, it reminds me of watching the second Avengers movie with Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
And how whenever he would fire those like energy blasts and whatnot, they would all kind of like reflect off of his own skin.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of watching Ultron. G says Silver Surfer's looking a little evil these days. I hate taking pics because a lot of my stuff looks better in person. Actually, I feel that so much. Like, it's like, especially like these Def Dreads I've been working on, I've been wanting to post them up online because I'm proud of the paint job. But every angle I take the picture of, they just like, especially, Def Dreads, they have like four arms kind of hugging themselves, right? And so no matter what camera I put my position in, it just, you can't quite see the light in the camera. It's just like none of the colors look like the way you painted it. Like,
a good cheap way to help take better pictures, besides going out there and getting these ridiculous cameras or whatever, is just a light box. If you get a light box set up, that is really going to help you get better quality pictures, at least to have a better, cleaner look. Because then you're dealing with more controlled environment with you're taking your pictures. And most of the cameras out there, like smartphone wise now, are pretty good. I mean, a light box will really help pop some of that stuff for you too.
Nice. I got out of the habit of using the light box with my white scars.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's so white that it takes away from how crisp my white scars look.
Even with a black background?
Doing the black background gave me other problems, but like I just couldn't find. The only thing that I was happy with my white scars was like doing the setup on a shelf and just letting the overhead light kind of,
Mm-hmm.
not having a solid color as my background, just going with a natural background. But I just need to figure it out. I'm sure part of it is I'm sure the majority of it is just my usage of these things. These demonettes, where did they come from?
Frothy Cat.
Frothy Cat. Sounds like a coffee. I'd drink that. Those are good. I like the bubblegum pinks and blues actually really pop on this really nicely.
Yeah.
It's got a nice punk vibe to it.
Absolutely. It reminds me of Vi from League of Legends.
Oh, wow. Oh, my God.
This night, though.
Jeez.
So I think at the very least, I think that shield is from those 30K Blood Angel Knights you and I were looking at last year when they released them for 30K. And we were like, oh my God, Blood Angels Templars. They look amazing.
So good, yeah.
it looks so perfectly placed on this Blood Angel blade guard here.
God, those little scratch marks he put into it, just
Yes.
it's always the little things.
Is that a bandolier? Hard to tell. This is by Zeal Sight. Drawn lightning.
Crazy.
What's his name, man? We are unworthy.
The leather scratches, such tiny, tiny details. Like, yeah, I'm just like, how did they even paint such a tiny scratch? Like, is that a one hair brush that made the scratches in the leather? I do have a green stuff light box. Only used it once, says G. Your dread looks killer meatos. Thank you so much. I think that was in response to Frothy Kitty. What a name. I won't say where my mind went. And that's a gorgeous marine. Yes, it is. Oh, hey, I think that's the sword from those knights that were released with that set too. It's so cool. Like all of this has such a great NMM vibe. And yeah, and those are the right letters. Sometimes when I say that too quickly, I accidentally say M&Ms. That's a great M&M vibe.
Now I want candy. All right. Fire up your
All right, brush
fireplaces.
bonfires.
Yep, there you go,
He
guys.
free-handed the chapter icon. Oh my goodness! Wow, that is good.
This is breathtaking. This like literally looks like something I might see in an anime or a comic book. It's just absolutely gorgeous. The color transitions on those wings, incredible. Like every scale of the wing too.
Oh my gosh. No freaking way.
This is why I was saying, damn you den of imaginations.
Jeez.
Just how the lightning though? I cannot do lightning.
Shh. Okay.
I know, Marley. It upsets me too, Marley. It upsets me too. Like I wish I could do this. I'll show you my Blood Bowl orcs if you like. Feel free to send them on over, man. We'll get you in on Art of the Week.
Yeah.
Actually, we've reached the end of Art of the Week, and we still have 45 minutes to go. So feel free.
Hey, you guys.
Over
anybody who's got any Art of the Week they want to send it.
We always love getting some community stuff up in here.
Yeah, we don't get enough of it. Yeah, we love torturing ourselves. Stop. Hey. Shh.
And actually, I'm going to capture some of our chilling bros stuff.
Shh. Quiet, Marley.
So we're going to add that one in. Where do I send them? I know we're friends on Facebook, my man. You can send them straight over to my messenger, and I'll forward it over to Freak. Also, anyone who knows me on Facebook can send it over to my Facebook Messenger or our Instagram, Frost and Fist on Instagram. And our Instagram Messenger, of course, we'll send it on over from there too. As you can tell, we catch a lot of stuff from Instagram. This is our number one thing that, we have stuff submitted from. One of our chilling network brothers, Brambleton, You can check out his Instagram right there, Brambleton Paints. This is a pretty cool model. This is, and it told me, but I forgot because I is forgetful. This is an Albionican Knight, which is freehanding on the shield and stuff like that. It's from Warplock Miniatures. Very cool.
All right. You got any more to send me, man?
I think G's going to send over some stuff here in a minute. Ew.
Very nice. Oh.
Ding.
Oh, I had the dangage. I got the dangage.
That's some more Harlequins.
Yeah, guys, if you could.
Jesus. Okay, I'm trying.
No, take your time. No, if you guys have some stuff that you want to showcase, just send it to Mythos, and yeah, let's get it up there, guys. Let's celebrate witches. Yeah, man.
There we go. Here's some more stuff from our brother the Pale Orc.
Very nice.
And some stuff from G the Hyper Sapien.
Okay, great. So tiny. Oh, that's so cool. Make sure I'm in the right order here. Oh, that's so neat.
Man, I love Blood Bowl. Those new Blood Bowl orcs look so good.
Yeah. Look at these Harlequins, man. Why does it look like Vega? Why is that? Is that Vega? I swear it's Vega.
Vega from...
Yes. Vega from Street Fighter 2. Or Street Fighter.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. So neat. Oh, that would be so much fun to paint right there.
Some Street Fighter characters?
Yeah, would you imagine?
Yeah, they would. Oh, hell yeah. I've seen some people paint up like Zangief and Ryu.
Ooh.
And those always look cool.
Oh my gosh. Good little guys. I love that.
I did something crazy metallic clothing. Nice.
Yeah.
Those bikes you said you were looking at, Pale Orc says, counts as Farseer on a bike, still work in progress.
Bloody hell.
G says, football teams have metallic clothing. I'm going with that.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I played football, I wore metal pants too. Look at that. Beefy. Very beefy. Yeah, that's so cool. I can see the orcs just great at this Blood Bowl.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Man, I love the new orc sculpts for Blood Bowl so much. I think they would be great because they're a bit bigger. They're some thick boys. I think they'd be great knobs, but I already have like a dozen of them.
Right.
Because so many box sets just throw knobs at you, and it's like several hundred points to just take a squad of knobs. So you don't actually use knobs except for like in your squads. Most people don't, anyways. So if I wasn't already inundated with a bunch of knobs, I would totally use some of those Blood Bowl orcs. Put some weapons in their hands, and boom, send them to town.
Oh my gosh. All right, well, I don't think I'm painting for another year.
Spray Black. Look at the face on those weapons on Spray Black Studios. This is his Primarch Alpha Legion that we've seen some of his Alpha Legion stuff before, and this looks like the Psyker. I can't remember. The Phobos Librarian. Yeah, his take on that, and just with the pose, you can see the stubble on the chin there peeking through the hood. Just so well done. Although I have to say one thing, I'm jealous. Rich from Spray Black Studios, his color shift or prismatic paints always do look good on camera. Like you can look at it and say, "Oh, that's one of those color shift paints." I can never do that. It's like I'm trying to take pictures of my color shift stuff, and I'm like, this picture looked like junk. Why can't I get my color shift? You remember when I did Harold Deathwolf? I tried doing the color shift.
Yeah.
Oh man. So Pickle Jar, one of his Secret Santa gifts is he got a pirate model for him and for himself, and they love the game Sea of Thieves, and so often he refers to himself as, Captain Pickle, and she's usually Pirate Queen Pickle for their love of the game, right? So pirates have kind of become part of their personality, and so they got sent models that kind of look like their Sea of Thieves characters, and so he painted them up on the stream this last week as their, characters. And you've got here your Pirate Queen here, Mrs. Pickle, and of course Pickle Jar is the male pirate. They make,
so cool.
Really stunning work on both of them. And he did the eyes, and he gave himself guy liner.
Wow.
Like how? That is brush control. Really, really incredible work. That red vest really pops. I love that purple pirate jacket with the gray pants. Really great work on both of those. Another Chilling Network brother, Hobby Corner Kev, who does a Friday live stream like we do, usually about 2 o'clock our time, U.S. Central Time, 8 p.m. if you're on British time. So he's usually doing hobby streams where he's painting stuff up, and he's been working on these Silver Templars lately, and kind of like Gray Knights, they're a metallic silver paint job, and this is the Silver Templars are the ones who got their kind of rule set kind of refreshed and relaunched with the Conquest magazines, so pretty cool. I like how he's done the scratches there in the armor.
And the notch marks on the gun.
Mm-hmm.
Just that little bit of character.
Yep. Nice work on the face too. I definitely need to spend a little more time practicing my faces. Work on the faces.
That's an angry man.
He wrote on the gun.
Yep.
That's tiny brush work right there.
Wow. And you can actually
brush control.
You can actually read it.
Why is it everybody that we always review in these series always has better brush control than us?
Well,
And so he's got Fury written on the label of his bolter there.
Yep.
And the Silver Templars motto is usually like something in Fury. Silver Templars motto. Focus and Fury, that's what it is. And so he actually took that bit of lore and wrote it on his gun.
Come on. He did it again. Nova. Oh, you're just flexing now. You're just You're toying with us right now. Oh my god.
That facial hair is on point. I think that was going back to Spray Black's 5 o'clock shadow he had going on. That was cool.
Come on, man. You know, you could have drawn the smoke too. God, grief.
Oh man.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I started talking to him, and now he's pointing at me. Look, everyone's talking about us. Shall I kill him, sir?
Clean it. Work on all that edge highlighting too.
For real.
You want me to gut him?
Talking shit.
Brack the War Boss and Essex boys. Good to see you, brothers. Good to see you indeed.
That looks so good.
Amazing, amazing work from the community and from our brothers this week. Absolutely awesome stuff. And by the way, our Chili Network brothers, not all of our stuff was from the network. You know, of course, Freak made sure to read out the names of everyone we came across, but those that are part of the network, you can find down in our description below.
That's everyone.
Cool stuff. Cool stuff. All right, and just in time, a little bit of 30 minutes for us to chat about the news.
All right. Well, let's see. Bear with me.
Tommy, any thoughts as we transition over to the news, my brother?
So speaking about Art of the Week, you know, we always kind of joke about burning our brushes, but
No, it's no joke.
People put down the gasoline, pick up the question pad, because I can guarantee you right now, I on Instagram, whenever I see something done really cool, usually 9 times out of 10, I message the person and like, hey, how did you do that? How did you do that? Then they'll always be friendly and like, hey, this is how I did it. These are the paints I used. So, like, ask questions. It's always like, if you want to, like, if you are amazed by somebody's work, one, give them a compliment. Then that's buttering them up, and then like, oh yeah, well, you made me feel good. I'll tell you how I did my thing. But like, yeah, I mean, most of the time, like a lot of the painters on Instagram, most of them are really friendly, unless like they're like the really big ones, and then it's like, you know, they're probably inundated with like messages like crazy, so you get lost in the thing. But like I've asked plenty of painters on there, like, hey, how did you do that? And they're like, hey, I did it this way. I used these paints. This is how I did it. And I'm like, all right, cool.
You ever get a lecture from one of them?
No. So far, everyone I've talked to or asked a question, they've been like, yeah, man, they've been nice. I've yet to come across somebody who like lectured me.
I've had that happen twice. And you know, I know we've had that conversation a couple times on this show where we talk a little bit about gatekeeping in the hobby. I just want to share 2 of my experience. Not that I'm trying to counter your point or discourage you. I think that's a great idea. You know, the number one stopping people, I have to say the top 2 things stopping people from doing those effects they want to see is, you know, practice and know-how, right? Mm-hmm. And so by asking the questions, you understand, or at least you start getting an idea of how to make that happen. So then it goes into execution and practice, right? So I think those are extremely wise words there. But just as kind of a funny point to that, I am going to talk about my 2 bad experiences. So one time when I asked somebody how to do that effect, they blew up on me.
I did not. That is a lie. Don't lie. Don't this. We're in front of everybody. Come on, man. Jeez.
And their rant on me was that they were so sick of people asking for color recipes and how people need to play with colors and experiment with colors on their own. And I was really kind of taken aback. And I was a little bit newer. No, I was a lot newer of a painter at the time. I think it was like my first year painting. And what I had asked is I'd seen some people do their Space Wolves, but like with that less Easter eggy blue on their wolves, it is more like it reads of undertones of green. Like you're still getting that kind of frosty blue look, but it reads kind of as undertones of green underneath. And I asked them how they made that happen, and that's when they like really just lost their shit on me about how they get.
I just can't believe that happened, dude.
Yeah, they were like, people are always asking me for color recipes and stuff like that. And, you know, I had to go to art school to understand color theory, but all you really need to do is you need to get out there and play with colors. And I'm so sick of people, you know, people don't want to put in the work and discover what colors are for themselves. And I was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's.
And you can imagine as a new painter, I didn't want to ask questions for a while.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm just gonna go over here and paint how I've been painting.
Take out his crayon.
I'm never gonna try anything new again. I'm never gonna try anything new again. Not use my Sharpie to paint my models. Which is not a dig at anybody that uses Sharpie to paint their models. That's what I was literally doing at the time. Elstonation the Great. Commodore spot on. The only way to learn is to ask and try. They would have spent many hours on the same mini. Yeah, a lot of times it is just practice and execution. I would have just replied with the violin. You know, at the time, again, because I wasn't confident with myself as a painter, I just kind of took it like, oh, this is how, this is how good painters are, I guess.
You got to understand, I remember when I first started and I see these people walk in with these amazingly painted models, I'm like, oh my God. I mean, it was hard not to, not to fanboy a little bit, because it's like you're seeing something that you would hope someday to be able to accomplish, right? And so you're so in awe how awesome this stuff looks. I'm thinking, I'm serious. In my mind, I'm thinking, there's no way my stuff will ever look this good, And so you're like, hey, they're nice looking models.
Yeah.
It's like, because you're not sure how people are gonna like that. Like when Mythos got that reaction, you just don't know how people will comment, and most people are pretty gracious. I do have to admit, most people are gracious. Like Commodore says, it's like, oh yeah, thanks, man, so much, yeah. And of course, but I think the point that we're in now, the point of our lives right now that Mythos and I are in, we kind of know what questions to ask. We don't approach, the very edges of the table, and you're like, hey, I like your models. They're pretty. We're a little more, we're a little more, discerning. We're like, hey, those look great. Mind if I ask you how'd you get those color schemes? Or this looks really good. And most of the time they'll tell you. They're pretty good about sharing that info. So, and I like that about the community for the most part. The community is not full of dicks, they've got decent people. Every now and then you may have one of these, like Mythos ran into that time. Really wish you would have ran into him with his car. That would have been beneficial. But still quite okay. We learn. So the neat thing about
Mythos hits him with the car and then walks up to him. That's for not telling me the paint.
Right? You jerk. Backs over on him. The nice thing about it is that we get to turn that around, and when people ask us about our, paint scheme, we run.
You brush it off.
No, we're really happy to share that info. We're really real happy, but we don't get asked that often because our paint scheme's not that.
Our reaction is usually like, wait.
You mean our stuff?
You want my opinion?
It's like, yeah, it's right. It's just like, have you seen my crap? It's yellow. I just look like I peed on it. But I don't understand which. What do you want me to tell you? So, you really don't. you always have a lesser perception about your own stuff than what others might. So, Richard Smith, good morning, my man.
Rich, my man, good morning. I always get asked about my pale orcs and my rust effects. That's awesome, man.
Dude, your rust effects are on point. They're crazy, dude. I've seen your rust effects, man. I really do believe you are an orc on the inside.
The other rude answer I got was basically, you know, like, why are you asking me? I'm a commission painter. You trying to take money away from me? Like, whoa. Like, they're like, you wouldn't go to a restaurant and ask for their secret recipe.
You've never told me this. I cannot believe somebody told you that.
Both of these were like when I was pretty new at painting, so I was just really embarrassed more than anything, and I felt like maybe I had asked a question I shouldn't have asked or something, and so I just never thought to bring it up again because I was just embarrassed at the time.
I have never heard you tell that story. Holy crap! I just learned something, guys. Oh man, I'm glad I wasn't there because I would have gotten kicked out of the store.
Oh well, these weren't in person. Oh. These were both like online questions.
Oh, wow. Okay, douchebags, got it.
And, you know, part of it is just like, you know, like I said, the community is full of amazing people on the internet, but then there's sometimes you get the people who hide behind the anonymous, you know, entity of the internet, and I can say whatever I want from the other side of the keyboard.
Right, exactly. Those kind of people.
BoffNet, the UK reinforcements have arrived.
I love these guys. And the cool thing is they're actually they're jumping on, right, you know, and not as we're signing off.
Right. There's a few minutes left of the show. Points changes, winners and losers. The first thing that jumps to mind for me is the fact that the custom force field is down in price again, which a lot of people say that kind of makes him a little better than a weird boy to take. But for me, the custom force field has always been almost an auto take for me because I rely on that to survive. The 6-up, you know, armor saves just wasn't doing it for me, so I always take the custom force field.
It has done, and well, it really has. I've had to pound that thing away several times just to get through.
I think Eradicators are still a big winner from that too, because they went up 5 points each.
Yep.
So, and those are still in my, like, for what they were originally, like, I think 130 for 3 of them.
Something like that.
Yeah, and now I think they're like 145 or something.
Yeah.
That is still one of the best Marine units out there.
Oh yeah, like they're a little more expensive, like barely more expensive, but still to me. Like, why wouldn't you take this? In fact, Freak, I don't know if you've heard of the kind of damage these things can put out, but they definitely belong in your fists with your Hellblaster squad in the back.
What's that?
They're Eradicators. They're Primaris Melta units with long distance. They're definitely the ones from my Indominus set are going in my Ultras because I don't really have a stand and shoot.
I'm sorry, guys. Be right back.
So spank the button, folks. Even use your jazz pipes. Else Nation, I went to art school and struggled with understanding colors and art in general. I would never have thought of you as struggling, Else Nation. That's interesting. Lars says, jumping on late too, I hadn't noticed about the KFF. Yeah, it's come down in points, and I think it was something somewhat significant. Custom force field drop in.
Now, Mythos, you're more of an orc player than I don't have a lot of orc players in my area. So did anything go up in price with orcs, or did anything become like non-viable?
No, actually, not that I can think of. Most of the orc changes were very minor, and the only thing that was really of any noteworthiness was the custom force field, and of course, the Stampa had a massive drop in price. So it used to be 905 points, which was very overpriced for something that's basically an orc knight, you know.
Mhm.
And now it is a much reduced 900 flat. So
Really, that's still pretty high though, right?
no, that's only 5 points off. I'm just messing with you.
Oh,
They,
I
they
think they're like 995.
the 905 to 900 flat. Like, why even bother at that point? Like, I don't understand what the point was.
So wait, is
Like,
it,
you
is
changed-
it considered a Titan unit or does it
I believe it's a Titan. I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what it qualifies as. But it was just, to me, it's like you take 5 points off a Marine or add 5 points to a Marine. You know, it's definitely, it's noteworthy. You take 5 points off something that's 900 points, it really is moot at that. Okay, so it's a super heavy, not Titanic. Note the sarcasm. No, I didn't get it. It was too practical and not artsy, and I never understood the mentality. When what we do now, Elstonation is one of the standards for art. It's funny, we were talking about organizing collections, and some of the guys in the Chili Network are using spreadsheets to log everything that they own, whether it's painted or unpainted, and they can track throughout the year how much progress they make. And Elstonation said he usually prefers digital forms of keeping up with his counts as opposed to digital. And he just shows this massive tray of an army divided into what's painted and not painted. And it's just like, I guess for Elstonation, it's more like counting grains of sand on his beach. You know, it's all there. It'll get worked on at some point.
What?
No, I was just talking about Elstonation's painted and unpainted piles are just grains of sand, basically.
Oh, you do, yeah. Goes and eats
There are
breakfast,
nids.
just turns around and just makes them before he even gets to him. I don't know.
Oh, boop, another army done.
There are nids.
I think that happens when he sneezes,
that's sad.
Commodore. You know, he's just like... By the time somebody says, God bless, it's already done.
All right. So you want to pull up the news there, my brother?
Yeah.
The last 15?
Yep.
Not everyone in the Chili Network is doing that spreadsheet thing. Stuff that says BuffNet. Yeah, you know, I wouldn't mind either BuffNet, except, you know, my backlog is so massive. There's no way I'm organizing all that. All right, so here are some of the winners that they looked at as far as releases for last year, 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Creepy babies.
I'm so replacing all of those creepy babies in my army. They will all get replaced with either, like regular, like skull servitors, robot servitors, birds, something other than creepy babies.
Yeah, but then Mythos, if someone comes over to your house and just sees you have these random models of creepy babies, they're gonna ask questions.
I was at his house and opened one of the drawers at his desk, and I just found this pile of dead baby. What? That was weird. You know, you would definitely not find that at my house, Commodore, because as soon as I snip them off the model, they're going in the bin.
What, Marley?
So that Triumph of St. Catherine, you know, the escort moving along the floating coffin, that was a really cool model.
Oh.
It's like it was the first time I'd seen just a whole ass diorama as a single unit. You know, they're not even a single unit, a single model. It's like we're going to be moving this whole ass diorama across the tabletop. That was really interesting to me. I can definitely see why it comes up as one of the winners for last year. Super dynamic.
And they've been doing that a lot lately now in GW. You get these like diorama piece models because what you have, St. Catherine, you have the leader of the Ozark Bone Reapers, you have the Silent King now is following that
Silent
too.
King, yeah. And even the Void Dragon to an extent.
Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely seems like it's becoming more of a thing. I don't know how I'd feel about painting St. Catherine, because like I appreciate the diorama piece, but it seems so busy.
It does,
Like,
but if you break it down, you're really only painting what, 6 sisters and some terrain.
that's true. That's true.
So if you don't build it completely together, and you just take it and piece it out, it becomes more simplistic.
I'm gonna get to see one in person. Brother Lars there is the amazing Orcs/Sisters player in our area, and he's got a Triumph for Christmas. Now he has to build and paint it.
Oh wow, I didn't realize he had that.
And he does some amazing looking black
Yeah, he does.
and purple sisters. So I'm really looking forward to that. Okay. Okay. I see what you're working with, brother. Next winner that they have for last year. The Sphinx thing.
Mm-hmm.
That thing is cool. We've seen so many good ones. That really is a great model. I kind of want to paint one.
It is. I mean,
my favorite though. Go ahead.
When it first came out, like, I didn't even know it was a GW piece at first. When I was like, what company make that one? And then they're like, oh, it's GW. I'm like, wow. It's just something so different from them.
Exactly. Yeah, it looks like something to be like, oh, that's got to be a creature caster or something like that. But no, it's definitely G-dubs. One of the coolest, like most unique pieces I've seen from them. So this was amazing.
And the paints, the paint jobs that people have done out there are so many different ones. I've seen some really good blending ones where they've gone to like blues and purples on the fur to. I think I saw one where they almost did like black shades.
My favorite one I came across was when for Art of the Week, Big McDanskull sent me one from Savage Orc Guy on Instagram, and she'd added wings and she had done it in those pastel colors, and it just blew my mind away. I was like, oh my God, I love this artist. There's no one can dispute that Indomitus is one of the big winning releases from last year.
That was the big winner.
Just for the sheer
everything
fact
in that box was good.
Yeah. Just for the sheer fact of look how many new Necron players have come out, because like the Marine stuff sold like crazy and everybody wanted that, and then you had all these people who were buying boxes just for themselves and like, well, now I'm gonna start playing Necrons, and Necrons have gotten ridiculously strong since Indominus has come out.
Yeah. The Mega Gargants, these giants here. All right, so these giant models came out last year, and everybody loved that you could play a faction of giants in AOS. A lot of people compared them to as the Imperial Knights of AOS.
Makes sense.
Pretty cool models. Pretty cool models. It really reminds me, like, if you painted it greens and yellows, of those behemoth super mutants from Fallout.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know Savage Orc Guy worked for GW. That's cool. That's amazing. Mega Gargant is so dope. It is awesome. And then, of course, we all knew this guy was going to be on here talking about whole ass diorama pieces. That Silent King. That's an amazing model. I just love the twisted soul at the top of his little warp lightning there. The whole thing is amazing, though. It
is a good piece.
The turret pieces look amazing. Just everything is gorgeous about that model. Now, these are some of the ones that were dubbed winners, but you guys, and then we talked about this once on the show before. Who knows what the #1 winner of the releases last year was as far as best model? Last year was won by the Prophet of Gork and Mork, Gazgul, baby.
Oh.
That big, chunky, thick boy. Gazgul's almost so thick he needs 2 C's and a Q. So, some good releases last year, right, guys? So, what are you gents? Give me a top, I don't know, top 2, top 3 from each of you. What you want released this year?
I'm not gonna.
There's nothing. You're not. There's nothing you want to see.
Oh, I do want to see, but I'm not gonna see it. It's not gonna happen.
Well, I mean, just if you, what do you want them to release though?
Honestly, I want a Primarch. I want a freaking Primarch. I want my damn. I want
and a loyal Primarch, please, she dubs, please.
You know, I really want a Primarch. Can we have a loyal Primarch? Is that too much to ask? Care about chaos? You know,
man,
it was a damn Primarch.
Gilliman is still really good, but he took a nerfing, and I can't help but notice with Gilliman taking a nerfing, how they've buffed the Farfanoogle out of Matarian, who's got like 7 dead-ass warlord traits now. Jesus Christ. And, you know,
make a sense.
He's got like 7 dead-ass warlord traits. He's got that buff that like starts zapping toughness from across the field. Like, as long as I'm on the board, everybody else suffers. You know, it's just like, what the hell's going on here? Like, they've really buffed the absolute ever-loving shit out of him. I don't understand
what the points for him is going to be. I don't think they've released that yet. How much a point-wise he is?
I don't think so. But like, I understand. Don't get me wrong. I'm not salty that they nerfed G-Man, but they nerfed G-Man because he was the absolute best force multiplier in the game. Okay, I understand that. I get that. But then that thought process going with the fact that they are buffing the balls out of Matari, and he's not even going to be able to walk. They're just going to be swinging. You know those physics puzzles where you start it and it just clack, 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 clack. That's going to be like him trying to fly around the battlefield. Every time you take a movement phase, you just got to start the physics puzzles, and balls will clack while he's flying. Like, I don't understand. Like, this guy was too effective. Kick him in the balls. But this guy over here, this undead piece of shit, oh yeah. Like, I really don't understand. Like, do for one, do for both, right? Anyways.
You're right. The line with the Dark Angels update. Yes. Something.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Freak and I have been on board with for a while. We don't even care if it's our own Primarchs.
Right.
Give us another loyal Primarch.
Right.
Any loyal Primarch. Old Zogwart model. That's something Brack would like to see brought out this year. Lion Sniper Grot says Brack the War Boss. I have seen some models of that from other companies, like Foxbox Miniatures. Not salty at all. I mean, and actually, okay, maybe I'm a little salty. When I saw what they were doing with Morty, it just seemed so incongruent with what they did with G-Man. He's still very good. I'm not bitching about him. And again, I understand that he was too good of a force multiplier, but it just doesn't match up with what they've done with Morty. You know, weird to me. Weird. So now it's at, not only have you given Chaos 2 to our 1 Primarch, but also the quality of the ones on the other side is better too. Anyways, I'm going to get off my soapbox now. So it's just like, by the way, you guys have Primaris, so you guys have the better army, but we're going to put the better Primarchs on the other side. What?
Well, that's the thing now with even Primaris, with the with Firstborn Marine now going to 2 wounds. It's not, Primaris aren't that much better than Firstborn, because like, I mean, depending how you play your army, Firstborn, it's almost better. You're more flexible because like intercessor squad for Primaris, you got 10, your toughness 4, but you only have the bolt rifles or however you get them out, and then some grenade launchers. I can take a tactical squad, which is cheaper, Same stat line, same armor.
The tools you can
Two
put
wounds.
on your last in.
Yep, I can do plasma. I can do plasma cannons. I'm more flexible. So I think it's just like,
Yeah.
I mean, they sold. I guess they sold enough Primaris where they're like, okay, well now we need to sell some more regular Marines. Bump them up to 2 wounds.
Boffnet says Imperial Guard needs some love. All right, so if you were to pick a buff or a release for Imperial Guard, what would you like to see them put out next year this year for Imperial Guard? Boffnet, my man. And I agree with you. I think Guard definitely needs some love. I look up and Freak has spawned cuteness incarnate. That is Taquito.
My wife's little dog. It's I'm his roommate.
The other day.
Mine is right here, but I can't pick her up. It will hurt me. All right, put you down.
I was about to say you could. Your back would suffer, but you could.
Oh, been tracking for days.
All right, so Primarch for Freak. Kami, my man, what you want to see this year?
What I want to see, I don't even play them, but I want to see Eldar updated. I mean, that's
fair.
That's going to be the big things. I mean, God, I would just like see some of the like any of the models that are like over 20 years old updated, because like there are some things out there where the kit hasn't changed in over 15, 20 years, and prices go up and all that, but you're paying for the same thing. But I mean, Eldar definitely needed. I mean, they got it the start of it with Blood of the Phoenix, but that is one army where, God, there's just some ugly looking models in that for an army that, when you paint it right, can look really good.
So we definitely saw that beginning of 8th, we saw that Death Guard got a full line refresh. Then towards the end of 8th, we saw that Sisters got a full line refresh. Beginning of 9th, we've seen a refresh for the Necron line. Who do you think will be, we'll see about halfway through 9th as the refresh? You think it'll be Eldar?
It has to be. I mean, because the Drukhari are already they got some new stuff, but they got the stuff coming from Piety and Pain, or Pain and Piety coming with them and Sisters. But I think it has to be Eldar. Eldar are, if it's not this year, it's got to be next, because that is one that is the oldest army out there, I think, since Sisters have been updated. The only other army
I gotta agree with you, because I've noticed that Drukhari are next as far as getting their codexes and a new box. They just put out the Necron army, so I don't think they're going to do a line refresh yet. So that kind of takes them out. I mean, it could be Guard, but I really feel like it's going to be Xenos this time, and I think Eldar is definitely. I don't think they're going to do a line refresh for Orcs. I mean, while some of those things are cool, I don't think they need it as badly as Eldar. And you know what? I'm gonna say this, and it's gonna be an unpopular opinion, but I gave Eldar so much crap for being on top of the pyramid so many years in a row, because they were on top of the meta for like 10 years straight, right? And I was like, okay, I mean, everybody talks like Space Marines are the now. Like, I mean, oh, of course they're good. It's Space Marines, But I mean, if you look back just a couple of editions ago at 7th edition, like for the most part, or even before that, like Space Marines have spent a lot of time on bottom as well as being on top, giggity. And so, like they at least rotate through. They're favored a little more often because they're the poster child, but they don't spend a lot of time on top of the meta until recently. But Eldar were on top for so many years. And yeah, they've had their, especially, late 8th, early 9th, they've had their struggle, and I think that's good. They put in their time, and I think I am comfortably ready for them to come back into, start coming back into power, ready for them to start getting some new models, get refreshed. I'm good with all of that. I know I'm an Imperial fanboy, but I can appreciate what awesome stuff there is in the Eldar. You know who I'm not ready, and I think they do still need to put in their time and roast at the bottom a little longer. F those Tau guys. F those Tau guys. Anyways, just cheap shot there. Commandos and Tank Busters are fine cast. They could use an update. Oh man, those have gotten some amazing updates, Lars. You should see those models. They're great. I mean, if you go to Spellcrow and Gear Guts, they make great Tank Busters and Commandos.
Mm-hmm.
A whole new regiment, new models for the existing ones, more flexible troop choices, and for the most varied force in the universe. Just to have Cadian is so boring. That's fair. That's fair. A whole new regiment would be fantastic. But I think one of the things that made them move from what I did when I was looking some stuff up, one of the things that made them move away from doing multiple types of regiments is that their combined sales for Imperial Guard were worth justifying, but their different regiments were not justifying the sales, and so they lost a lot of money where like they had printed too much of this regiment, this regiment, this regiment, this regiment, and they just weren't selling. So I think that's why they kind of consolidated them into just, this is Imperial Guard right here.
An easy way to rectify that then is, and at least in my opinion, what they could do is like those be a little bit more difficult, but those like sprue upgrades they did for Space Marines, like, hey, here's some upgrades to make your Space Marine Imperial Fists. Here's some upgrades to make them look like White Scars, something like that. I mean, at that point, all you really need is some heads and a chest, and you can get a crazy amount of stuff. So,
no, I think that's a brilliant idea, and I'd love to see them do something like that. So that way you can support flavor and variety with the Imperial Guard without bankrupting the system. I mean, that's a little dramatic because, of course, they're booming in business right now. But, without bleeding out. And I think that's one of the reasons why they do have such amazing sales right now on top of, lockdown and all that, is because they've been managing their money better. They lost a lot of the IP for the Guard, so they were struggling to keep it from being copied as well. I mean, that makes sense. That makes sense. But I think when you combine that and being stretched thin in too many directions, I think that's one of their problems. I think that Plan Commodore is a great way to rectify that. Let's see, anybody else who said new and unreleased Death Guard models are in the FAQ, so got to think that's all up to date. Yeah, and honestly, they just came out like with the whole Death Guard line at the beginning of 8th, so they do have one of the youngest armies. All right, so yeah, lots of ideas there, and I agree with pretty much everybody's suggestions so far. So good stuff, good stuff. Kami, any closing thoughts for you, my man?
Got him. Always learn from other painters out there. Just ask questions. If you see something you like or you see something that somebody cool, ask them. If somebody asks you, how'd you do that? Be nice and tell them. Don't be a dick. I mean, because like that's one of the important things I think we want to bring this hobby is like when we play games, you want to at least be playing against a cool painted army. Nobody likes getting their butt kicked by a sea of gray. It's kind of boring at that point. So there it is. Just don't be a dick.
That's fair. That's
hobby.
Fair. Don't be a dick. That's a good rule for life.
Yeah.
Hobby, painting, being at the gas station. I mean, just don't be a dick.
Don't be a dick.
Freakalicioso.
Hi.
What are your parting thoughts for the night? Your words of wisdom.
I don't know about like
your
wisdom.
Words of freakdom.
Nah, freakdom. I can do freakdom. honestly, I need to get another couple more games in. You know, we need to get some games in because I really would like to see them push to the loyal just once. But like I said, I've asked for that. I have hope for that, and I'm not gonna waste my breath on that. So, but overall, man, great.
And really, we're just talking Primarchs with that.
Yeah.
Like, we played against Chaos a couple months ago.
Yeah.
And we totally felt
Yeah.
that Chaos is not in a great place without those additional wounds. They need them. We see the struggle, and we totally feel their pain.
Right. Absolutely.
But as far as Primarchs go, though, like, for real, though.
I mean, yeah, just throws a bone, man. Come on. Anyway, great stream as always. Commodore, you're such a good guest. You know, appreciate you coming on, even though you ignored me for the first, you know, opener, and that's okay. Still love you, man. It's all good. You know.
You upset me. How could you betray me like that?
Have you played
And
Space Wolves?
here I am.
No, because I don't want to get on that rabbit hole.
just saying.
One hit and he's hooked. You know, I'm like the crack dealer who keeps giving them like, hey, check this out.
Yeah.
Christmas, Merry Christmas, have a storm wolf. Hey, come over to your house for a random Saturday. I got you some assault intercessors.
Yep. Like, what the hell? What is happening here? Like, oh my god.
2 weeks from now, we come back for you. Like, oh, check out these 9 basilisks I have. Who are you?
Anyway, so yeah, so really, I'm excited to see what happens. I'm gonna have to review some of. There's been a lot of new Q&As and updates to the rules, so I'll have to start studying all that crap all over again. So we'll have to see.
I told him I could legally put basilisks in my Sisters of Battle army because they get to ally Imperial Guard for
go
free.
to hell. Yeah.
He gave me the straightest face and said, I swear you will be playing against someone else. I'm like, oh shit. This got serious.
Yep, you can bring all the basilisks you want. I'll be like, I'll cheer you on. Yeah, you go meet those while I'm eating my taco. Weren't you supposed to be playing Mythos? No. Yeah, you were on the schedule to play Mythos. No, it says right here, you and Mythos and Freak.
Every time I keep telling him he's supposed to play me, he just shakes his head. When Freak gets really upset when he shakes his head, like sometimes he'll stop using words and he just shakes his head. But he does this Jeff Goldblum thing where like he gets upset, he shakes his head, and like just the jowls move like Jeff Goldblum. Like I'm like, oh my god, I'm watching Jurassic Park right now. It's funny. Lars needs to play his sisters. Yes, you do, sir. Next time you come, got to play some sisters. We got to set up with either Atlas at the place he set aside or Cloud. I really like doing those side-by-side games.
Yep, those are great.
So we'll have to organize something maybe.
Agreed. I think we can make that happen pretty soon, actually.
Good night, Bofnet. We're wrapping up anyways. You have a great night. Thank you for joining us.
Get some
or
rest.
Have a good morning. Richard feels us on the extra wounds needed by Chaos. Got tabled turn 3 by Eradicators. Oof.
Jeez.
And Lupus says, great stream, guys. My closing thoughts, great spending time with you guys on a Friday night. Great way to start the weekend. Commodore, so glad to hang out again, my man.
It's always great to be here.
Hanging out. Also, guys, like we've been doing some of the recent weeks, I will be staying online a little bit afterwards. We're going to do a Google Meet hangout like we've been doing lately. And just me, some of the patrons, some of our awesome hobby community. We're just going to jump on, do a little painting. So if anybody wants to join us, hit me up, DM me. And look forward to hanging out with you guys. Really enjoyed hanging out with Commodore. And we had some great conversations about Oh, I think we're doing pretty good. At least 10% of tonight's conversation was actually hobby related, so we're getting up there.
Only derailed like what 20 times.
If you guys enjoyed tonight's show, then please make sure that you grab up an axe and smash that like button in the name of the Emperor. Drop us some comments down below, especially if you're watching from the archives. And feel free to be part of any of these ridiculous conversations. And if you guys are not yet subscribed to any of our network brothers below, if you guys are not yet subscribed here, then I'm pretty sure our Smash Captain Commodore here, Smash Captain Archer in the chat, I'm pretty sure Freak Alicioso, and this guy would love to have you as part of the pack here on the Frost and Fist. Until next time, guys.
Stay frosty.
The Internet, the final frontier. These are the live streams of Frost and Fist. Their mission, to explore miniature wargaming, to seek out new hobbyists and models, to boldly go where no potato has gone.